First off, shout out to my Iowa boys. I love y'all and I miss y'all. I'm living here in Ohio now, but Iowa will always be home, and Drake University is in Iowa. Now, how many of y'all have heard that D2 is so far below D1 when it comes to basketball or all sports? Some people think it's an insult to go D2. Some people think that, D2 is not on TV, so those D2 guys, they can't hoop. Well, maybe y'all have never thought or said that, but I have when I was younger, and I think it's a stereotype that has been ingrained into our heads just because D1 is more popular and D1 has the better athletes. That means that D2 guys aren't capable of playing D1 basketball. Well, D2 Drake has proved us wrong this year. Look, this is my favorite story in college basketball. I loved it ever since I found it. Been following Drake for a little while. I really liked Darian DeVries and his son Tucker when I lived there. Went to a couple games. Great environment in Des Moines. But DeVries left for the West Virginia Mountaineers, and they hired Ben McCollum, and Drake just won the Missouri Valley Conference championship, regular season championship. Time will tell, see if they make it into the NCAA tournament or not. But all in all, it's been a fantastic season for a team that many did not expect to be good, with their top three scorers, these three right here, being two D2 guys. So let me break it down for you. Little history here, little history lesson. So Ben McCollum, I think he coached for 13 or 14 seasons. This is Northwest Missouri State University. Yeah, Northwest Missouri State, right? Sounds like a name that is made up, right? Northwest Missouri State, I mean, that sounds like a fictional college that like ChatGPT would come up with. But Ben McCollum made this college a D2 powerhouse. He coached guys along the likes of Trevor Hudgens, who made it to the NBA with the Rockets, Justin Pitts, point guard that can score the ball, and Ryan Hawkins, a guy who later transferred to Creighton and was pretty good in their NCAA tournament run. And as a result, 3 national championships for the boys in green in Maryville, Missouri. Shout out to any Northwest Missouri State fans out there. But Ben McCollum was a powerhouse coach. He interviewed for some jobs, including the Drake job in 2018, but nothing ever utilized until this year, 2024. When Ben McCollum got the Drake job, and he brought over these 4 guys to start for him. Look, if you ask any rational person what would happen if you brought over 4 D2 guys, none of whom were like NBA regarded as like the best player in D2 last year. If you bring over, in fact, none of these guys were the leading scorers on the 23-24 Northwest Missouri State Bearcat team. If you say, hey, I'm going to bring over 4 guys from my D2 team and put them into D1, people would be like, you're crazy, right? And that's what people thought of Ben McCollum. Read an article on MSN. Shout out them. Most of my information is going to come from the Field of 68 podcast that Jeff Goodman did with these 4. But this article stated that many fans were emailing the athletic director expressing their displeasure for the new coaching hire and the guys that he brought over. Well, those people were dead wrong. F tier take. These guys are very good at basketball. They're lovely to watch play. They play with togetherness. They play with composure. They play very hard. Just an amazing story. I'll go through each one of these guys. Each one deserves their own video, honestly. Just an amazing story. How you could go from an under-recruited D2 guy to a team that if they win this conference championship as the 1 seed, they'll be a 12 or 13 seed in the NCAA tournament. Like, they're just outside the bubble for an at-large. Like, that's, and I think they should be in for an at-large, my personal opinion. But let's talk about the MVP first. Bennett Sturtz, right? This guy is incredible. He's amazing. Like, he's better than Tucker DeVries, in my opinion. I love Tucker DeVries, but I think Bennett Sturtz is better. He's a 6'4" point guard from Liberty, Missouri. He was under-recruited didn't play on a huge AAU circuit, didn't get any D1 offers, right? No D1 offers, goes to D2, Northwest Missouri State. Balls out, comes over with Ben McCollum, becomes their point guard, plays all the minutes legitimately. I saw a stat saying he's played 99% of Drake's available minutes. What? That's crazy. He plays 39 minutes a game out of 40. Like, he never comes off the floor. Insane player. Like, he says himself, he's quoted as saying, I'm not the quickest guy laterally, but could have fooled me. I mean, he's playing against SEC competition in Vanderbilt and just like going right by dudes to the bucket. Can shoot the three extraordinarily well and is just clutch beyond belief. Can shoot free throws insanely well too, but I've never seen this man take a shot in the clutch and miss. Like, whenever he takes a shot under like a minute on the clock, it's going in. It's absolutely insane. He is for sure the Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year. In my opinion, deserves to be in the running for at least consideration for some All-American, for like a third team All-American. My opinion. Then we got bottom left, Mitch Mascari. Interesting story. He said himself on the Field of 68 podcast, he was close to retiring from the game of basketball. He had a job as a financial analyst. This man was about to work in banking, and McCollum calls him up and says, hey, come play for me. And he's averaging way more points and minutes than he ever did at D2, which is crazy. He's a 3-point sniper. Limitless range. He also plays all the minutes. He plays 38 minutes a game. Underrated defender. Underrated athleticism. He's got it. Then we got top right, Isaiah Jackson. This is a guy that I know the least about because he doesn't necessarily fill out the stat sheet, but he's known to be a great defender. Plays very hard. McCollum knows how to get his players to play very hard, and Isaiah Jackson is kind of the embodiment of the culture that McCollum has brought to Drake. And they got Dan Abreu. He's an undersized 4 or an undersized 5. I think he plays the 5 for them a lot of the time. And can step back, knock down the 3 when needed. Very strong player in the post. He's their 3rd leading scorer. And seems like a good dude, too. All these guys do. They seem very humble. They don't seem like they're too rattled by the moment, which is absolutely crazy. Like, coming from a spot where most college basketball fans don't even know who you are or know who your school is, to a spot where you're competing on national TV on the highest stage. Absolutely crazy. Drake keeps doing it. They keep producing these great teams. And even this team, D2 Drake, right? Who would have thought that a D2 team would transfer up to D1 and immediately be one of the best teams in the country. And I think Drake has obviously had some amazing moments this year. Of course, MVC champs, but this moment right here, I have it in a picture frame because it truly encapsulated Drake's season. Bennett Sturts, crazy. They're at Kansas State. They're in Manhattan at the T-Mobile Center in front of a packed house of Kansas State fans. Kansas State paid millions of dollars for their roster. And some of these guys probably grew up dreaming to go to Kansas State. I know I would if I was a kid and who grew up in the Midwest. Well, I kind of am, but not that Midwest. But Kansas State is like a Midwestern blue blood, you know? And Bennett Sturts was a Kansas State fan all his life, being from kind of near that Kansas State area. His partner is a cheerleader for Kansas State, and he knocks down the game-winning three with a few seconds left to clinch Drake's win over the Kansas State Wildcats, Coleman Hawkins, all those guys, Jerome Tang. Absolutely insane story. That must have felt so good. That's their March moment. I don't care. Whatever happens, happens. Obviously, I'm wishing for the best. I hope they win it all. The MVC tournament. But no matter what happens, it's been a remarkable season for McCollum, Sturts, and this Drake Bulldogs team and community. Shout out Drake. Started from the bottom, now we're here.